I'm going to say a few things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to speak like if I'm a writer, or if I'm a producer or a director, because if any one person talked about like some of those movies that are in the shows and the series and stuff that are on TV, you would be locked up with a mental illness, like seriously. And that's what you've heard all your life. It's just a movie. It's based on a true story. It's like, no, it ain't. It's not real. That's how they control us. But, and then again, I have to say this, that I hope you have an open mind. And I hope you bring in no biased opinions. And I hope if you know me, you're not watching this, because I can tell you, if you're around me and you're watching this, you're watching it out of spite, out of malice. That malice, arimonic nature in you is digging for something, and you lose. Because when people don't understand, they project authority, and they'll say they don't even know how to identify the authority that they bring into a conversation that I talk about, because they're high and mighty, and then they'll go, no, I'm not, and it's worthless, because you can't talk to these people. See, we're to the point to where we know what technology is. Okay? It's an invention of the human anatomy. We know that, and we know it was created to control us. It's insane how these people they have no idea that connection that has been forced upon them by design. And they'll tell you that's how badass evil is. But you're not taught to learn, you're just taught to memorize. And now they're just pushing children through school. Oh, it's okay, but that's by design. It's fixing to get ugly. I can see into the future now. And we called some shit back. We called the Biden shit and the Georgia election, and then the insurrection the day after it happened. We did a video, and but the whole thing is this news cycle that's created by, we'll label it as the Illuminati. They know that the people's connection and what's in their anatomy through what they eat and take as medicine, it's all mind control mechanism. So the next day, it's just bam, 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 all day, every day. Phones are in people's hands, breaking news, and it's broken the brains. And I told people right when the 19 shit hit, I said, look, y'all need to get ready. This is it. They're fixing to lock it down forever. And everybody's laughed. And now the people on Facebook are coming at me, telling me how much that this system saved them. And I said, yeah, but I can see what saved you. That's temporary. What saved me is you can't see it. And you've been taught that if you can't see it, then it's not real. Then that means God's not real, because the way you live according to Scripture, it's insane. And I could go on and on and on. But, I'm just trying to build a foundation to what I'm fixing to talk about. We know that the reset, and that's what it is, and we're going to use that name. We know that the reset comprised anywhere in Germany. It doesn't matter in any land. They start with the newspaper. And then before any technology, there's going to be a stage. There's going to be theater. Okay? They got rid of all the old world technology, free shit. And y'all know all about the antennas and the domes and the conductors, the capacitors, and all that shit on top of churches, which are power centers. So we're going to get rid of all that, and we got to reinvent everything, in a very dumb way, because real math rips everything of their shit in half. But once you get rid of everything, then you control the world. So when you set up a town, okay, a town is going to be the basis. That's going to be because a town in itself, within it is OWN, which is owned. TOWN. I was looking at something. And then towns, that's what it is. Towns, T and S. T is 2, and then S breaks down to 1 for 21 because of the 201 Jesuits. They love 231's 21st triangular number. And they fucking love that shit. They rub that shit in blackjack, 21 gun salute, all that shit, that's them. Alright, so we're going to recreate a town. Now, we can base this town. I mean, anything that we create from here on out is going to be the exact same copy of this town. And we have, since we're like the world controllers and we're going to start selling these products as industrial revolution, plastics and all this shit, you control everything. So you control what a town is going to hear. You know, you're going to control what they see. And as this technology, which is not real at all, as the technology of like plumbing and electrical shit, you know, all this stuff to get a foundation, construction builders, you know, neighborhoods. And I'm talking about like, if we go to any town right now, okay, this will help you instead of me trying to explain it in a very difficult way. If we go to any town right now, there's the same swinging dick in that town. That same millionaire that does construction, plumbing, whatever it is, that buys the same fucking resources from the same top brand. Do you see what I mean? There's a huge brand at the top, and then all the little towns buy from that supplier. And they doctor it up as, you know, because the supplier grows as the populace grows. So if you go back in history, I mean, it's so sad. There was lasers before all this. And my granddaddy, I'm sure y'all's had the fucking ruler that folded out. You know what I mean? Like a big, thick ruler, you fold it out. I've still got it. But they only were given what they were given. So if they weren't given certain skills in school, they're not going to have a very inventive mind. So it's going to be controlled, the towns, and as those offspring sprout, then here comes, you know, because they made everybody poor, you know, and poverty will never make you look at shit. You'll either fall in or strive to never be like that, and then you chase the money. That's created by design. But any town you go to, there's nobody unique. It's the same fucking setup. The same gas stations. And as the vehicles came, they wasn't invented. They was already sitting there waiting. There's some numbers of like Wyoming or somewhere, when they really got going, all of a sudden fucking vehicles were just everywhere. So you had to have generations to ingrain in them to now to where, you know, the technology that was supposedly invented, because see, everything invented here comes from the other side. Anything, any ideal, any invention comes from the other side, good or bad. And it does. And this is a lot of that technology that got thrown out of heaven in the middle of 1800s, this Ahrimanic technology that came down. And the priest of Saturnalia that the Vatican sent over here to this land everywhere in the middle of the 1800s wasn't for Jesus. Those were fucking 5,000 priests of Saturnalia. Listen, dude, y'all, you think what you've heard about certain wars is bad? Dude, what they do to minds is beyond any war. And it's crazy as shit, because see, in the towns, those people are controlled. You need to think about, before this technology, in the towns, same signs sell it, that gives the children a conclusion before they're fucking 7. You know, go back and look at the ads in the 50s, 60s, and 70s and how they're pushing the cigarettes. Doctors say they're good. Sodas, meth, and all kinds of shit. And see, the people are so dumb that they can't even go back in history and see how that they forced them. Cigarettes were in vending machines. They knew what was going to happen. They had to give it time and then go, well, we got a lung institute over here. And then, see, they literally, and then built the careers out of the resources, out of the candies and shit like that. And that's how the old people grow into brain diseases. It's because the brain ain't got what it's made of. It's so easy, it's not funny. That's the whole thing is. They have these fucking people afraid to eat natural shit. Yeah, if it's not in a fucking plastic bag made by a robot with no feelings and love whatsoever, then they ain't gonna fucking eat it. You can be like, look at that water coming out of the ground. Look at all that green life form sitting there, and that's fixing to go into me. You are crazy. Well, because you were generations raised when they put the water towers up. That's in all the different towns. We're going to condition the shit out of them. It's free, man. It comes from the fucking ground. And then everything's just grown into what it is. It's not hard to see it. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of, a few ingredients, because I'm like you. When you go into fucking major detail about shit, it can take forever. And your brain is designed to not understand it. So if I give you some shit and you look at it, like I'm getting off here at the mall. I remember growing up, when this first came here, there was nothing out here. Nothing. And now look at it. Well, the people wasn't here. So, and CBL, who owns all this shit right here, whatever, it's fucking, it's the world controllers. Listen, you ain't free. I tell you that. You never have been, never was. But I want you to think about that. People didn't have shit. Nothing. There was nothing around. And then Henry Ford and Thomas Edison sold the bullshit of a 10-year cross-country trip to start building the roads for all the vehicles they had coming, to build the gas stations and the hotels eventually, and let's go out to eat, and we're going to get on the road. We got trucks going and all this. Well, all that shit served its purpose now. Now those truckers are going to lose their job. They already are. AI is taking that shit over, and truthfully, there's no room for anybody now. So it's not hard to see if you go back in time and just see not a whole lot of people. If really and truthfully, it wasn't. Go study your World's Fairs. There ain't no fucking body there. And then they filled up these cities and then burned them down with them there. And then that way people could be like, oh no, my granny lived there. It burned down for real with a candle, burned stone down. Yeah. Stupid. It doesn't matter, man. Listen, earlier I told somebody that I love dearly, man. I laid it out there. Not like in a loud way, in a loving way. So easy. And they just, there ain't nothing in there from this. It is fucked up, man. They don't have it. And the technology, all these people, it's fucked up, man. If you're listening to this, you're lucky. And it ain't me. People unlock this, and God, and a lot. But I can see it in their eyes. And if you really get out of the world enough and cut the pills and shit, meds, you'll start seeing and paying attention to nature. You'll see a person's aura around them, and it will have a different color, because that aura is going to represent that harmonic personality, or it's going to represent another one. It'll represent it. I can see the mood that they're in, and truthfully, some of them, the energy that comes out of me, they feel it before I even get to them. And sometimes I notice certain things, and the only way you'll know is to give it a long time. About 3 years ago is when it really started hitting me, my faculties and senses. About after 5 years of being real clean from the fucking world. The only thing, just sugar. But not a lot. Because I'd burn off everything. Just like now. But they don't want you to fucking do that. They want you to keep it in you. Stay lazy. Stay inside. And you can see how it all started with newspapers, and now we're here. And now they've created this young generation to go at the older generation, to now listen to them, buck. Well, if it wasn't for the technology, they would never act like they do. They wouldn't be who they are without the technology. The newspapers wouldn't have turned our ancestors into who they were without the fucking newspapers. And then the radio wouldn't have done what it did with Elvis and Marilyn Monroe and all that shit. And now we've got the fucking computers. Look, it's not hard to see slave controllers creating your town and then putting fake banks, fake everything. It doesn't matter how real it is to you. It's not real. It's not real. They planted human beings, planted us like a garden, and then watered it with this fake technology. Because this thing, man, listen, it has to do with your soul. So, I got to go. I love you.